Hey guys, Mosa here, and today I'm bringing you to my post-game review of the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Now, as I expected, Seattle was going to win this. I said the Seattle Seahawks had to stop the Philadelphia Eagles on offense, but I do see that there is troubles on defense we have. But the offense really won us the game. Russell Wilson having a down game this week as 230 yards. Alright, that's decent for Wilson and sometimes very good. While one touchdown to 0 interceptions, I think that is not Wilson. Wilson throws 2 to 3 touchdowns a game, in my opinion. He can do that, especially against a Philadelphia Eagles team that is not that good. And, of course, then we got on the rushing side, we got Carson, we got Hyde, Russell himself, and more. They were the ones who ran the ball in this game. 8 carries for Carson for 41 yards and a touchdown. 15 carries, 22 yards for Carlos Hyde, 6 carries and 12 yards for Russell Wilson, and 1 carry for 1 yard for David Moore. Now, on the running game, we did decent. We didn't push Carson to the limits. We were mostly passing the football. And when it comes to the receiving game, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Chris Carson, Jacob Hollister, Carlos Hyde, and David Moore, all pretty good. But the best performance of the game was 100% DK Metcalf with 177 yards on 10 receptions. No touchdowns though. But here's the thing. You go to Tyler Lockett, 3 receptions, 23 yards. Chris Carson, 2 receptions for 18 yards. 2 receptions for 11 yards for Jacob Hollister. 2 receptions and 7 yards for Carlos Hyde. And 3 receptions for -6 yards. And I know, -6 yards. How is that any good? Well, it's good because one of those receptions was actually a passing touchdown for David Moore. That was the only passing touchdown that Seattle threw against the Philadelphia Eagles. And to be honest, the Eagles did well as well, but I did say it would come down to the Seahawks stopping them on defense and then scoring on offense. That is what Seattle needed to do. They did so, and now they won. Now with Philadelphia, we go to the passing game, which they actually played both their quarterbacks, Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts. Wentz was the one who played most, which is 215 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Honestly, not that good for Wentz, but honestly, he did his job. That's what he did. He did his job, but it wasn't enough to win. Jalen Hurts had 1 completion, and it was for 6 yards, nothing. He basically just got 6 yards out of it. Then on the rushing game, it was mostly Carson running the ball with 42 yards out of 5 carries. 6 carries for 15 yards for Sanders. Boston Scott, 2 carries for 7 yards, and 1 carry for 6 yards for Corey Clement. Now, when it comes to receiving game, they did a lot better, but it was still not enough, as their 2 top receivers in this game was Dallas Goedert and Richard Rodgers. And by the way, first of all, these were the only 2 guys who scored touchdowns this game against the Seattle Seahawks. And let me just get this straight. The 2 tight ends are the top receivers, and the third is a running back. Like, how bad are your receivers that you basically are not, they're not even top 3? Like, you got a running back and the 2 tight ends in front of them. No, that is horrific. But when it comes to Alshon Jeffrey, Jalen Reagor, I do see them as future. Alshon Jeffrey, honestly, he's very good. He has some bad days, he has some good days. But Jalen Reagor, I see some potential in him, but he has to increase his potential on the field. He has to show that he's good on the field, because if he doesn't, he's going to find himself cut and going from team to team. Now, when it comes to receiving game, 7 receptions for 75 yards for Dallas Goedert and a touchdown. 3 receptions and 53 yards and a touchdown for Richard Rodgers. Boston Scott, 5 receptions for 40 yards. Travis Fulgham, 2 receptions for 16 yards. Alshon, 2 receptions for 15 yards. Jalen Reagor, 3 receptions for 11 yards. Miles Sanders, 2 receptions, 7 yards. Greg Ward, 1 reception, 3 yards. And John Hightower, 1 reception for 1 yard. Honestly, I'm going to say this. They got some good tight ends. Richard Rodgers and Dallas Goedert, very good. But it's not going to save you. You need the three running backs, receivers, and tight ends, and the quarterback to be good on offense. Because if you just have a good offensive line but not a good receiving core, running game, or quarterback, that will kill you. But the thing is, they don't have a bad quarterback. They don't have bad receivers. They don't have bad runners. It's just that this game was not for them. This was not a good game for them, and this will continue to happen if the Philadelphia Eagles continue doing what they've been doing. Now, what is my conclusion for this game? Honestly, very big win for Seattle. They're now on top in the NFC West at 8-3. The Rams are at 7-4, the 6-5 Cardinals, and the 5-6 49ers. Now, honestly, I think Seattle could keep winning, especially these next 2 weeks, because now the Seattle Seahawks have both the Jets and the Giants, and honestly, they're not good at all either. The Giants might have a chance to beat us, but that's a might. And the Jets, 1,000% they're not going to beat us. Like, the Jets are being coached by a guy who is basically tanking them, and will continue to tank them all the way to 0-16 for the first overall pick, and will get the quarterback that they want, but not the quarterback that they need, because even though that Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback in the draft for next year, I think Trevor should just stay in college, because going to the Jets, it's just going to tear his career apart limb by limb. And to be honest, that's what happened to Sam Darnold, but it was mostly happened when Adam Gase became the head coach. But as far as I could see, the Jets is going to be the easiest game we have next, and the Giants is going to be the easy, toughest game we have left, because they are an easy team to beat. But we can't let ourselves say, oh, this team is good, but this team is horrible. We're going to beat them because they're so horrible. Because horrible teams can win games as well. I mean, look at Seattle for an example. 2010, they went 7-9 and made the playoffs, and then beat the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl champions of the world, the New Orleans Saints. Are you telling me that teams that are bad can also not win? No, that's wrong, because teams that have nothing left to lose are the teams that can beat you. They can just get a pity win. The Giants aren't going to get a pity win, though. They are still battling for the division, even though they are a 4-win team. But the Jets, they're not going to even get close. They still haven't gotten their first win. And honestly, it's going to continue to be like this. And honestly, I'm going to say this. The New York Jets hope to God that when it comes to the end of the season or during the season, I don't really care. Hopefully they fire Adam Gase. Because how do you fire Bill O'Brien and all these other guys before you fire Adam Gase? Honestly, I would have said that I would have fired Adam Gase before Bill O'Brien, before all these guys in Detroit, before any of these guys. I would have fired him before that. But, well, you can't pick and choose who you want, and the teams want to be like that. They just want to continue losing. But as far as I can see, Seattle's going to stay on top as they're going to go over to defeat the Giants and defeat the Jets in back-to-back games, and that's what I think will happen. Now, that was it for this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Tell me anything about this game and the next game against the Giants. Who do you think will win against the Giants? Will it be the Seahawks or will it be the Giants? Tell me down in the comments below. Now, like this video if you liked it, subscribe and hit the notification if you want more videos, and I'll see you guys next time.